Hello, let me introduce you to the VR game Roadside Colonies. It is available on the SideQuest store. It is a short single-player wave shooter experience, and I know, as many as they are in the VR space, but in this case with more emphasis on the spaces and adaptive artificial intelligence. You start in a safe place, with some wood covering windows and blocking the door, a gun on your left, and a notepad in front of you. And when you approach it, it starts writing itself, indicating that you are here due to your own will. Not sure why, but with the certainty that there's something outside wandering you have to defeat, and you need to prepare for that. This first room is the chance to experiment safely with the game's core mechanics, like grabbing and throwing things, loading your weapon, climbing, and more. I wanted this game to be about displacing a known place to the edges of the universe and looking at silhouettes wandering through the windows and doors, feeling the protection of interior spaces but giving the player agency to deal with large number of enemies with confidence. So in order to achieve that, I did my best to make it fun dealing with a single enemy, adding 2 levels of weak points, the head and also the sphere flying around the head, that slows time a couple of seconds when you destroy it. Now, a part of the game that I'm not particularly proud of, I'm going to interact with an NPC in order to progress the story.
I was here during all those rainy and bright days. This has always been a quiet place, isolated from all that noise and contamination, from all that people that could hurt us. I lied to myself every day, then I lied to my family. At the end, we all realized that the safest place in the world was built over the hell itself.
This is the story of a man who made the wrong decision of bringing his entire family to this place before it became what it is. And well, this is kind of the backbone of the storytelling of this game. In this initial area, it is mostly about finding the same NPC multiple times to progress, getting a glance of how people inside this habitational unit live their last moments. While interacting with this NPC, we are going to start finding out the situation is more than an unfortunate accident. Being the first house we just went through, kind of normal. We are going to start finding unexpected things forward, so it probably sounds more interesting than the game is capable of displaying. Aiming is really good. In VR in general, I think it's a different experience. I wouldn't say that it's just more immersive. It is its own thing. It's not just moving your mouse to a point in the screen. It's more an holistic experience of having grabbed the item and looking through the side. And it is also a quick win from a development perspective, because in VR you just have to code the raycast to hit whatever the sight of the gun is pointing at, and you don't have to worry a lot about user interfaces. But just for some people that tested my game were not so good aiming with a gun, I decided to include a laser. You can enable it at any point, but I'm more inclined to think that it is more fun to just don't use the laser. It's not because it makes trivial the action of aiming, it is more that you are all the time looking where the laser is pointing at. It doesn't feel completely right. And there are more layers to it, but let's hear the next NPC event.
I thought that behind these walls nothing could hurt us, so I worked every day to bring as many people as I could here. Until that time, when she hid behind the tree after night. It wasn't difficult to find, but she just didn't want to be found.
The same text indicates behind the tree, and this is one of the 2 trees in the area, so it's pretty quick to find. I also added some highlight to the item in order to see it. Let's hear.
I was angry with Dad for bringing my annoying cousins to the house, so I came with Jeff to look at the sky with him. It was amazing. The sky turned violet and the stars became so bright.
Well, this is pretty normal in Mexico. It's not uncommon to see multi-generational families living in the same spaces. And it has good things, bad things, but it doesn't matter. It depends on the person. And in the case of this kid, the situation is not ideal. Back to the story, the child was hiding behind the tree when suddenly the sky became to another color, and then this space got ripped from Earth to another dimension. And now you as a player, if you get out of this initial zone, you start getting damage. You need an energy stone of orange color in order to advance. And in order to get that, you need to engage with the wave shooter system. Now I'm approaching to the underground zone. It was covered before, but now after interacting with that giraffe, this section is uncovered. Before I had crazy ideas about creating bunkers across all the map and interconnecting all the sections, but it was just too much. So I decided to just create a single contained section of the map below the initial zone, and that's what it is right now. It is not required to complete the game, but there are interesting rewards there. And also, this part of the map, I created it in order to explore different gameplay scenarios. We have the vanilla wave shooter that you can start with an artifact, and also we have this open area where the player has to run and shoot enemies coming from all directions, which is really dynamic and fun for the playtesters. For now, let's hear the NPC.
Nobody warned us. It wasn't supposed to happen today. I led my family to the underground as fast as I could to spend the next 24 hours waiting the fog to disappear, but all of them got exposed to the radiation.
Once the event finishes, several enemy groups are dispatched and the bunker entrance gets closed. Enemies are not a problem, even with just a gun, but the situation serves as a chance for the player to see the turrets in action. If you decide to place the turrets before triggering the event, the enemies are defeated pretty quickly. This is a classic tower defense element that I wasn't totally sure about prioritizing, but it just makes sense to have an automatic attack entity that the player can manage, especially if you are defending a position inside a house with many doors and windows facing all directions. And the first time I grabbed and placed one turret, it felt just so good and totally worth it.
The days pass and the sky just doesn't clear. My family needs food, so I have to go out. It is my fault for bringing them here. I'll assume all the responsibility. I saw my neighbor bringing a lot of supplies the last month, but I haven't heard from him for a while. I hope that he won't come back for them.
Okay, there's a single more NPC event in this section, and I know there's a lot of backtracking here. That's because I wanted to let inside the house's interiors before introducing the enemy's wave shooter system. Now with this key, I'm going to open the door of the house. Yes, I'm very proud of this system. Hitting the weak points is something that is really satisfying. It's something that is moving. It kind of feels good to aim fast to the next position of the weak point and destroy it too. Okay, now I already know the position of the last event, but I'll go directly for the artifacts to start the wave shooter experience. Okay, this is the last one. Let's hear it.
I trusted them, but they weren't expecting to protect everyone. And now it is too late. Even if I could fabricate a shield, I'm the last one, and I don't have reasons to live.
That was pretty dramatic, but well, this NPC left this machine and now we can use it to initialize the wave system and to fabricate multiple types of artifacts. This wave system is fully controlled by the player. We decide where to install the defense post and when to press the button. On every wave, the number of enemies will increase until it reaches a threshold, where stronger enemies will appear. So there are only 6 types of enemies, all variations of the same base enemy. Creating a single enemy took so much time, I decided to follow the traditional pattern of using different colors for enemy durability and strength, and I integrated the Pac-Man approach of giving some personality to every enemy, some acting more cowardly or brave in response to player attacks. The scenario I enjoy the most is when I place the defense post outside or when I get to the wave number 50. I get to that pressure point and start feeling overwhelmed at moments, what is really fun, but maybe I didn't integrate this kind of situation more in the regular player's progression. In general, there's a big improvement opportunity in terms of enemies. I tried to compensate this from multiple perspectives. I included upgrades for the gun and turrets that let you hit multiple enemies. I added a blue laser that will hit near enemies in the same place you hit the first one. I also added a yellow and red expansive energy spheres that will inflict damage to all entities in a specific radius. But even with that, this is something that is still work in progress. Like that, there are a lot of half-baked elements in this game, but I hope that if you have the chance to play this game, you can let me know your thoughts on what to improve or what you liked about it. And at the end, this is an exercise of communication, another digital footprint in the vast internet. For anyone with enough free time to hear this, thank you for watching.